Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. What is your consumer talking about your brand on social media? Who is influencing this consumer of yours, and how is he reacting to your communication targeted towards him? Every marketer has to deal with these questions every day, but the social media analytics landscape is getting increasingly complex with each passing day. How does a marketer grapple with its complexity? Lakshmanan Narayan, CEO and co-founder Unmetric, has a few solutions to offer, which he offers to Storyboard editor Antrangaswamy on the sidelines of WPP Stream in Jaipur.
Lux, we're hearing of marketers increasing their digital / social budgets by leaps and bounds. And with that comes the problem of measurement. You know, everybody needs measurement. Now, in your space, the social media analytics space,
right,
the average marketer must be getting 2 new mails a day, you know, offering to measure their social media, and each claims that he or she is the best in the world. So tell me, how do you grapple with something like this? How does a marketer navigate this challenge?
I mean, absolutely right. In fact, I pity a marketer now, considering the number of pitches they get and how similar everything sounds to each other and looks, right? And we are guilty of it as well, because I mean, part of it is it's the onus is upon people like us to clarify the landscape.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, I get confused with the landscape. I have a notebook somewhere with a list of over 200 different solutions, 144 listening solutions, 46 publishing solutions, and a whole bunch of other solutions that, depending on how, you know, what your mood is that particular morning, you might slice and dice it in a different way. But I think if you take a step back and go back to how it always was, it's not as confusing as it seemed at first glance, right?
So take me through that, deconfuse me slowly.
Okay. See, at a fundamental level, a marketer is worried about 2 things: his consumers and his competition, right? I mean, he wants to get business from consumers. There are other brands competing for that business, and therefore he needs to worry about competition. Once you bring in this silo, you've got 2 discrete buckets into which you can fit everything. On the consumer side, you've got to understand your consumers, you've got to reach your consumers, right? So you've got 2 more silos over here. On the understanding what brands are doing, right, you need to understand what they're doing in terms of reaching your consumers. And if you keep branching this out, you'll find that everything actually fits into a pretty logical and digestible pattern.
How do you convince your customers that yours is better than the other 144 solutions that you spoke about?
So the first thing we tell them is what we don't do. Right. So it's a bit of a, I mean, way of doing a pitch or a conversation. But the first thing we tell people is, look, like you, we recognize that this whole landscape is confusing. And let us clarify what we don't do. So we're not a listening solution, and we can recommend at least a dozen of them, 6 of whom we partner with, and there are a lot of good ones out there. We're not a publishing solution. We're not an influencer analytics solution, right? We believe that you need to know about your consumers, you need to know about your competition, and all these things help you know about your consumers.
Right.
We help you know about your competition,
right?
Because you're creating content nowadays at the speed of culture. Right. When I was in advertising 15 years ago, the average brand would do 1 campaign every 6 months. We'd go off to a resort, switch off, and come back with this big brand idea which would live for the next 6 months.
Right.
That brand is doing 6 campaigns a month now.
Right.
And at that cadence, you need a lot more real-time information on how your channels are doing, how your content is doing, how your campaigns, which are a different flavor and shape and form than what campaigns were years ago, is doing, right? And we tell them, so our focus is on what brands are saying and doing. It's on calibrating the world of branded content. So we're the world's largest repository of all content produced by brands. Obviously relevant to someone who's on social, because our source of information is what brands are saying on their Facebook page, on their Twitter handle, on their Instagram channel. But guess what? Social is an echo chamber for everything a brand says. Right? I mean, a brand puts a television commercial, it would be silly of them not to amplify it across all the channels at their disposal. And that's, I think, is interesting, the fact that social has become an echo chamber of everything that a brand has to say. So that's really our story.
Okay, now I'll use your words, the world's biggest repository of content. Now tell me about Discover, which is a new product you've launched, and tell me how marketers and creators can take advantage of it.
So Discover helps a content strategist or a content planner use historical data to create and plan for better content and campaigns, right? Let's rewind back to TV ads.
Right.
Your competitor puts a television ad out there. People see it. You have no idea if, I mean, you might have an opinion on it that it was an amazing ad or it was a horrible ad, but you have no idea as to whether people like the ad, whether they related to it, whether they empathize with it, till you commission primary research maybe a couple of months later where you throw in that ad as well into what your research company needs to come back to you with, and then you have an idea of how well it did. Social has changed that paradigm in a very interesting way, because when a brand puts that same television ad on their YouTube channel,
right,
and then tweet about it and post it on Facebook, based on the comments they get, based on the shares they get, based on the likes they get,
almost real time.
It's real time market research.
Right.
It tells you whether people liked it or not and how much they liked it or not. And if you're calibrating that every single day, every single year, we've been doing that for 5 years now, and translating that into a repository of 500 million pieces of content, each of which has engagement markers attached to it, which is over 1 trillion data points on repins, retweets, likes, views, shares, comments, and everything.
And this is all tagged and meta tagged. So
and tagged and meta tagged, right? So what category was it? Was it a promo? This is powerful information.
To me personally, Discovers is an exciting prospect, and
it is,
maybe we need to spend some more time talking about it.
I would love to. I'd love to pick your brains on that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrew.
Tata Signa has launched a new TVC in which the brand promises to keep your business one step ahead of others. Featuring actor Akshay Kumar, the brand ensures performance har kadam with its line of commercial vehicles. Let's take a look at this exclusive preview of the new TVC.
Business का level,
स्पीडोमीटर की तरह बढ़ रहा है.
ड्राइविंग कंफर्ट का लेवल,
हवाई जहाज के जैसा बढ़ रहा है.
ट्रक से कनेक्शन का लेवल,
मोबाइल से भी तेज बढ़ रहा है.
क्षमता का लेवल,
अपनी पार्टनरशिप जैसा बढ़ रहा है.
ये लेवल बढ़ेगा तभी तो कमाई का लेवल बढ़ेगा.
टेक्नोलॉजी का अगला लेवल.
पेश है टाटा सिग्ना, परफॉर्मेंस हर कदम.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.